Hey guys, exciting day today. I'm joined by Nicole from Evans and Wislang Conveyancing. Nicole, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Now, Nicole, you are a conveyancer, and today I wanted to talk about contracts for sale. And, you know, obviously you're based in Newcastle. I'm here in Sydney. We're in very tough lockdowns at the moment. You've just done the conveyancing for my personal property that we sold, I think, a month or so ago.
Yes.
And I think a lot of agents at the moment a lot of homeowners are very up in the air, especially here in Sydney. But this is a great time for an agent to show leadership and, I suppose, strength in the marketplace by doing the right thing by their owners and getting things prepped, because lockdown's not going to be forever. So as an agent and as a conveyancer, we know the benefits and the importance of getting a contract for sale drawn up, but especially in times like these. So I guess number one, why don't you give a bit of an intro to yourself and what you do and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, certainly. So my name's Nicole Brotherton. I'm a solicitor here at Evans and Wislang. We've got some solicitors and conveyancers that can help you with all your property needs. Obviously, we do all of your standard conveyancing, but also commercial leases, sale of businesses, properties, all of that sort of thing. But basically, I guess what I wanted to mention today was just the importance of being ready in a market like this. It's two things. One, it's a very fast-paced market at the moment. There's the movement we're seeing in the market at the moment is unprecedented. And two, obviously, the situation we're all in with COVID and lockdowns and what that means for the process of conveyancing.
Okay, so I think the two things I really want to focus on today is, number one, we are in lockdown. You guys, we had a chat about it earlier. You're still functioning. You're still open for business.
Yes.
We'll come to that. But the number one thing is, let's touch on speed. So
yes.
How long typically would it take to get a contract for sale drawn up out of lockdown? And how long is it taking now?
Yeah, and that is a big change. So normally we could get a contract, depending on what council area it was in about 3 business days. So Sydney and Newcastle areas are quite quick. Some of your more rural areas take a little bit longer standardly. But at the moment, given that Sydney especially is in lockdown, and even here the council staff are limited, things take longer to get those government searches and inquiries. So normally 3 business days, now up to 5 to 7 business days.
Okay, all right. Well, and that's why, and thanks for coming on today, because I think a homeowner that's looking to sell, let's say in spring, there's actually a lot of work that's involved in getting a property ready for market. You're looking at contract for sales, you're looking at pest and building inspections, strata reports, photography, and all that kind of stuff. From a contract for sale point of view, you do require some documents and stuff from a homeowner, don't you? What can a homeowner be doing now, I suppose, to speed up that process?
So with the documents that we get directly from the homeowner, they generally relate to council approvals, so occupation certificates, warranties, that sort of thing. So depending on how old the property is, some of the properties that you're selling, obviously if the person hasn't built them or hasn't done work while they've been there, they may not have those documents. And that's where we come in to do a bit more investigation to get what is available from the government authorities.
Okay, cool. Now, everything's online now. So for someone like the situation that we had was, you are in Newcastle, I own the property with my parents who are also in Newcastle. I'm in Sydney, couldn't get up there, but everything's online now, isn't it? I mean, you just sign.
Absolutely.
Was it DocuSign or something?
Yes, DocuSign. So we act for people all around New South Wales, all around Australia, and even internationally. Everything can be done electronically now. So whether it be taking instructions over Zoom or the phone, but when it comes to actually signing the documents, that can all be done electronically now as well.
Okay, so I think, and I'm probably going to get in trouble from a few people for saying this, but I think from a homeowner's point of view that's made it known to an agent that they're thinking of selling, look, every agent is fighting and vying for listings at the moment.
Yes.
And homeowners can feel, I suppose, sometimes like they're being pressured. If an agent says, look, we need to get an agency agreement signed, we need to get a contract for sale, it can be heavy or feel like pressure for a homeowner. But from a conveyancer's point of view, how important is a contract for sale, and what can you and not do without one?
Okay. The short answer is there's basically not very much at all you can do without a contract for sale. So it's really important, and it's not a matter of the agent putting pressure on. Homeowners need to know that the agent can't do anything to market their property, and I mean anything, without that contract of sale. So it's really important. And if they feel pressure, talk to their conveyancer or solicitor, and we can reassure them as to what they actually do need, and that we do need all these documents to put together a complete contract before the agent can do anything for them.
And that's even as simple as putting a property on Instagram. You can't, can you please...
No advertising whatsoever unless that contract is complete.
So, Nicole, if someone is looking at a pre-market or off-market opportunity, so that's without all the marketing, you still need a contract for sale, even though you're not going on the portals, correct?
Absolutely, that's correct.
Okay, so hypothetically, if I'm in my apartment building here, the one a couple of floors down sells for a great price, and I want to get the underbidder for that property, we want to nail them now, don't we? So
absolutely, because there's so much available. If you've got a buyer who's wanting something that you have, you need to be ready to get them to sign a contract, or they'll find something else.
Now, can you explain what a 66W is and the benefits of exchanging with a 66W versus a cooling off period? Because I know in different markets, here in Sydney's East, and as you found with me, I was always pushing, get that 66W, get the check.
Absolutely.
Now, why would that benefit an agent and a homeowner to get that?
Okay, so basically... a Section 66W certificate is a certificate that a solicitor or conveyancer can provide under the Act, which waivers the cooling off period. So for a vendor, when you're selling, if you can get your purchase to the solicitor or conveyancer to provide that 66W certificate, your sale is unconditional at time of exchange. So straight away. If they won't provide that certificate, dependent on the market, at the moment, it's quite, such a hot market it is often that we push for that 66W, and it means that you don't have that cooling off period. They can't turn around and change their mind in the next 5 business days. It means you're unconditional immediately.
So it protects the vendor at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, a vendor doesn't have a cooling off period when they enter into a contract, but standardly a purchaser does. If you can avoid that, you want to avoid that because you want your sale to be unconditional immediately.
Okay, so on settlement, what do you guys do as far as, number one, do you hold the deposit? Does the agent hold the deposit with the disbursements? That's all the money that's paid out. So do you guys pay out, the strata levies, the council rates? Does that fall on a homeowner? What is it from... You prepare a contract for sale, but you also look after the legalities through settlement. Is that correct? Yep.
That's correct. So basically with a deposit is generally held by the agent. If there is an agent involved, it's always held by the agent because they're that independent stakeholder. And it's held in their trust accounts, perfectly safe, and it stays there until settlement. Now with deposit, basically the balance of the deposit is refunded to the vendor after settlement. With all of the other adjustments and things, say land rates, water rates, strata rates, we actually do a settlement adjustment sheet to make sure that the vendor is only paying up until the day of settlement, and then the purchaser pays from that point forward. So that's all adjusted and that's all dispersed at time of settlement. So the vendor knows that once they get their funds at settlement, everything's taken out that needs to be taken out and the rest of the funds are theirs.
All right, cool. Okay, I think that's all I had. Is there anything else that you wanted to throw in there that you might think be of value to an agent or a vendor at the moment?
Yeah, so I guess the main thing I would say in this market is be prepared. Be prepared for, if you're selling or buying, be prepared by getting the documents ready, giving your conveyancer or solicitor the instructions to get everything ready so that if a buyer comes, you're ready to go. And note that things are taking longer than they used to at the moment. So the earlier you can speak to us, the better.
And just on that, I suppose, and it's something that I've always done in my career, and like I said, we spoke to the pest and building guys earlier today. We actually had the contract available on our website, so they can just click it and download it straight away. Now, I'm sure you would agree, especially from a conveyancer's point of view, when you've got so much going on. It's an agent's job to keep that momentum going, isn't it? So if a buyer comes through and they're hot and they're ready to go, you don't want you don't want a buyer coming through your open home or an inspection on Saturday, sending an email saying, hey, can you send me the contract and some information, blah, 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 blah. You may not get it until Monday. By that stage, they might be starting to cool a little bit or think.
That's right.
Last thing we want is buyers not to think. We want to get them while they're hot and they're emotional and they're invested. So to have that, is that something that you would encourage as well for an agent to do, to have it available?
Absolutely. Yeah, look, we provide you with a complete contract. So it's out there for anybody to see. There's nothing to hide in a contract. So we, if you can have it available and ready to go, best situation.
Okay, and you must have a contract for sale at open homes. That's right, isn't it?
Must have a contract. You cannot show anybody through a property, even off market, without a contract. So no advertising, no showing. You technically can't even introduce a person to that property. So give an address. You must get that contract for sale ready.
Okay, perfect. Nicole, thank you very much. Like I said, we'll send this out to our database. Hopefully, if agents find some value in this, they can pass it on to vendors as well to get it straight from a conveyancer's point of view. So, yeah, look, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
No problems. Thank you, Nick.